Let's talk some third-round options for the Minnesota Vikings. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus, and a lot of draft talk. We're going to be doing a lot of free agency talk as well, but in this episode, we're talking, it's early yet, so these guys may not end up in the third round, but I would say like anywhere from second to fourth round guys that maybe are on the Vikings radar. Beep, 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 beep.
And before we talk about these guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids, smash that button, all those buttons, subscribe, like, comment. We enjoy hearing from you guys. And also we enjoy delicious Liftbridge brew in a glass, in a can, especially in our bellies.
Yeah, it could be in anything. And also hit up Badass Wood Art. Remember, hit up that coupon code OneBarLupagus for 15% off your entire order. So look at those beautiful things. We'll be doing another giveaway very soon. But let's do it. Let's talk Vikings. Third round potential options. And let us know in the comments some guys that you might have on your radar in third, fourth round. And before we get into it, who is the last little trivia here? Put it in the comments. Don't answer, Lupagus. The last third round draft pick we had that was in the Pro Bowl. All right, let's do it. Who do you got? Who's your first guy?
Well, a lot of the guys I'm talking about today are the guys that I always just end up drafting over and over again in these simulators. They're always there, and I can't help it. I love every one of these guys. I'm going to go with Byron Young, the defensive lineman from Alabama. Don't be tricky. There's another one from Tennessee. There's multiple Byron Youngs in this draft.
Not as good, though. He's not as good.
He's not. But I like what Byron Young is his versatility. He can play end. He can play interior. You look at his stats. He's had 20 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks. He's playing in the SEC against the best damn competition in college football. So he's battle-tested. He'll be ready to go. And the Vikings D-line is so damn thin right now, so lacking of talent. If you can't get one in round one, you almost have to get one in round three. I think Byron Young's a nice option to follow on.
Yeah, it's funny. I was watching a draft show today, and they basically said, if you're a defensive lineman and you're in Alabama, it doesn't matter. It just always bumps you up at least a round. Yeah. Like the fact that you're there, you just get more love than you should. And this dude is going to probably – he's one of those guys that I think are just going to go earlier than anybody expects. But I'd love him. I love him so much.
Absolutely.
I was actually – I'm getting a little bit out of the box today. I'm trying to really spread myself thin of as many players as possible.
Sorry, box spreading.
Yeah, I'm spreading. So I try to think of some more newer names in that area. So I'm going Alex Austin, cornerback, Oregon State, 6'2", buck 90. And everybody's saying cornerbacks, you're going to get some great value at cornerbacks round 3, round 4, even in round 5. So that's why cornerbacks, I mean, I'm just diving balls completely deep into it. So 6'2", buck 90, has the size, can play press, can play zone. They're basically saying, this dude could end up being a fantastic cornerback to watching his tape. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, the dude's not scared. He's not scared to lay a hit. He's not scared to lay a punch. He's athletic. He's got good size, extremely competitive. And again, I'm coming back to his size. I just love his size. He's been starting there since he was a freshman. So like you said, like Mr. Young, he is battle tested. He could be a day one starter.
Are you saying a scared? Or just saying scared fastly? I couldn't tell. I was like, oh, I thought you were saying
not scared. He's not scared to lay a hit. I don't know.
I thought you were saying us scared. Yeah, I don't know this guy. I can't really comment on him, but you mentioned that 6'2", and I like big corners, so that gets me very, very intrigued. What was his name again? Alex what?
Alex freaking Austin. Know it. Get to know this man. I mean, anybody we could say that we draft could potentially be a day one starter. I mean, when you look at our depth at corner, especially with old PP voiding that contract, anything's on the table.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a defensive player, this is the team you want to go to because you may be on the field very, very soon. I'm going to stick with cornerback, and none of my guys are shocking names. If we've been on any of our live shows, I think I mentioned all these guys I'm talking about here today, but Caillou Blue Kelly, cornerback from Stanford, 6'1", not quite as tall as your boy, but he's got long-ass arms, long-ass legs. He's just a gangly sucker, plays a lot of energy, high intensity, had a great Senior Bowl week. I think he's going to have a really good combine too. Caillou Blue Kelly, you mentioned a plug and play guy, this could be one too, who comes in, finds a starting spot, or at least competes for one, and is going to see playing time, worst case scenario, as a rookie, especially here if he came to Minnesota. But you look at his overall stats, the production maybe doesn't get you super excited, but the potential is there for Caillou Blue Kelly. It's just so fun to say.
Yeah, he's definitely one of your guys. You've talked about him more than anything in the world. And one thing that I've realized that to not get my panties in a bunch about are sack production in college and cornerback stats. Like, throw them out the window because it does not matter. It does not matter one damn bit.
They just won't throw you away if you're good in college.
Exactly. And he's a guy, man, at this point, he could easily go in round 2. So in round 3, I would pull my panties off and throw them against the screen. I'd be so excited.
God, what color are they going to be?
See-through? Probably some nice little cellophane color.
Wow.
That's the only ones I wear. Remember in the comments, who was the last third-round Vikings draft pick that went to the Pro Bowl? All right, I'm going with another Senior Bowl guy, a guy that had a very good week, and that is Xavier Hutchinson, Iowa State wide receiver, 6'3", 205. There's a theme to the guys I love, and they're tall and they're big. This man, 107 receptions, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. Can play inside, can play outside. We know we're going to need some receiver help. Everybody's like, oh, Jalen Naylor's going to step in and be our number 2. You guys are delusional.
People say that?
Absolutely. In our comments. People love Jalen Naylor more than you love Mr. Blue. But what I love about him, he makes the tough catches. He makes the very tough catches. He is not scared. He can go up, get the ball, and he's a very good route runner with good hands. Is he going to wow you with his athletic ability? No. Is he going to wow you with his speed? No. But how many times have we seen a wide receiver that doesn't have lightning speed, not the most athletic guy? I mean, look at him Thielen. Come in and do fantastic. He's probably going to run around like a 4 or 5, whatever. But he makes the tough catches, and he makes it look easy. Xavier Hutchinson, check him out.
It's funny you mention him because he's one guy who always comes up in these simulators I do, and I never take him because I just don't know much about him. I've been meaning to go in and watch his tape, so I'm glad you brought him up. Xavier Hutchinson, I definitely got to take a look at that guy because
there's so many good third-round wide receivers that get my parts excited. Rashee Rice is definitely up there.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a round 2 guy.
Oh no.
You've heard me talk about this guy, and I'm going to continue to talk about him until he's in Minnesota. It's Ivan Pace Jr., the linebacker from Cincinnati. Where did he go to high school? Coleraine. Where did I work at Chuck E. Cheese in Cincinnati? Coleraine Avenue. Basically my neighbor, Ivan Pace Jr. This guy is just okay. The one knock on him is he's not very big. He's short. He's stocky. Plays with so much damn energy. He's one of these linebackers. You know how he wears his jersey? He tucks that fucker up. He shows his belly as he plays. He's a midriff linebacker, and he attacks. He's violent. He's aggressive. 306 career tackles, 41.5 tackles for a loss, 20 sacks. Maybe he's a little too uncontrolled at times, but this guy is a heat-seeking missile. Pair him with Brian Asamoah. We have probably the most exciting young duo of linebackers in the NFL. I said it. I'm standing by it.
You know what? Size when it comes to linebacker can kiss my ass. We once had a linebacker that was pretty damn good. That was about 5'10". His name was Ed freaking McDaniel. So bring him on. I love you. Maybe you gave him some quarters at your time in Chuck E. Cheese. He was probably a wee young lad looking to play some video games.
Let's see. I'm trying to see when he was born. I wonder if I did meet him.
I don't know. I'm kind of over it, but you never know. But yeah, I mean, you got your boys. That's another one. I finally had to look into this guy. I had to do it. I mean, he's a guy that we're going to look into eventually. And that's a quarterback. That's Mr. Tanner McKee. Yeah. Tanner McKee, quarterback Stanford. Everybody's saying, he might get – he's not going round 1. It ain't happening. How many times do we see these quarterbacks all of a sudden, he's not going to be in round 3? He probably will. I'm banking on this guy being there in round 3. Maybe he's gone by then, but it's going to be early round 3. But Tanner McKee, 6'6", 226 pounds. He's all about potential. He's all about potential. You look at what everybody says at Stanford, he didn't have jack shit around him. He had a horrible offensive line. He didn't have a chance to succeed. But his big thing is, and again, I was watching another draft show that they made a perfect point, is that if this was 15 years ago, this guy would be a surefire first-round pick because he's not the new elusive, agile quarterback running around making things happen. He is a pure pocket passer, and if he has to take 2 steps out of the pocket, you're screwed. But when he's in the pocket, and you make time for him and you have things happen, he's beautiful. He's got that huge size. He's got a good arm. Things just have to be lined up very, very well for him. And he's coming into a situation. The reason I like it is he's not ready. He's not ready. He could sit behind Kirk Cousins for whatever reason or for however long and marinate a little bit. But he needs a very good offensive-minded coach, which, Kevin can help.
6'6", 220. To me, that sounds like the next Mike Glennon. Does he look skinny? I haven't watched it.
They compare him quite a bit to Mike Glennon. Not so much the size, just so much the fact that if he gets out of the pocket, he's balls. He's a pocket passer. He's better than Mike Glennon. I mean, come on.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just talking looks. That's why I'm picturing this guy looking like this. That tall, lanky dude.
Yeah, but he's got a good arm. He's all about potential. He could absolutely be dog shit. But the thing is, everybody is saying he's the most difficult quarterback to evaluate in this draft class because you're not going to know what you're going to have in a couple years.
Do we want another pocket passer? Are we ready for something different in Minnesota? I mean, I know you got to take who's there, but I mean, honestly, if you had to choose, I think I'm ready for a mobile quarterback.
I'm ready for a quarterback that could potentially take over. I don't care what it is, or what he is, or what he brings to the table, as long as he's good. So,
yeah. And McKee is definitely like Hutchinson, a guy I've been meaning to go back and look at here a little bit more. So I know one of our viewers did a mock and he put on Twitter, and he had McKee going right away at the top there. So I'm like, I gotta look at that pick because that's the one guy
I can't see any way in hell how this guy would be a first or maybe even a second.
No, it was he traded in the second and took him. It was like the first pick in the second round.
Yeah, he's a hot name. He's the guy that you just they hope to hit on. He ain't a day one starter.
Yeah, we'll see. A guy at the combine, and maybe he'll throw well, but you can imagine his testing skills are going to be super great.
He's big, though, and he's a quarterback. And I want a quarterback, damn it. And when we miss out on Anthony Richardson, when he goes 9 to the Panthers, I mean, Hooker, somebody will take Hooker probably way earlier than they should. We don't have a lot of options, so that's why I'm looking at Mr. McKee.
Yeah, so that's it. So Vikings, some third round options we like right now, third-ish round, we'll say, because we don't really know at this point. It's February 21st. A lot of things will change.
Top 10 picks by the end of it.
They might be. So let us know some other third-round types that you guys like in the comments below. What did you think of the guys we mentioned? And there's some other guys we should be looking at a little bit closer. We want to hear that as well.
Comments. Last third-round Vikings Pro Bowler.
Yeah, who was it?
I don't know. I'm not going to say.
I have a guess. And I also have a guess about this. In 2018, a criminal came up with a master plan to paint his entire face green to avoid being identified while pickpocketing in Russia. However, the 23-year-old man was swiftly identified and arrested due to being the only person in the vicinity with a green face.
Makes sense.